Okay guys, so I haven't made a video for a long period of time. There's been tons going on in my life, all good stuff. And what I want to do in this video is just give you 3 very quick, simple and easy applications that you can implement today with your agency to actually close some clients and collect some cold hard cash in the next 7 to 14 days. Okay, so I want this video to be super tangible and actually give you 3 strategies that frankly you can run today that are going to get you clients tomorrow. Okay, so without further ado, what we're going to do is jump straight into it. Now, one of the first key issues I find with a lot of my coaching clients is that they struggle with their outreach scripts. And whether it's through cold email, which is what we recommend centering all of your outreach channels around, or whether it's through DMs or whatever it might be, what they are struggling with is getting across their value proposition, their USP, and trying to convey their, offer and unique selling point against their competition in a written form. Okay. Now, the first thing that we help these individuals do is to humanize. Okay. So what do I mean when I say humanize? When I say humanize, I mean humanize their scripts. And in actuality, what that comes down to, and how I know this is because we're still running this in our agency today, is a couple of key points, right? So when you are sending your outreach messages, let's take cold email, for example, you need to make these messages seem as human and as personalized as possible. Now, there's a difference between humanization and personalization. A lot of the AI automation tools that you are using to automate and scale your outreach sequences lean heavily on personalization variables like first names and last names, company names, whatever it might be. And the problem is you're all leaning on the same inputs and it's all creating the same outputs. You can't get clients, okay? And what this basically has caused is a level of attrition where your brands and the clients that you're reaching out to are just sick of receiving, unsolicited messages full of AI slop. Okay, so personalization in emails, for example, doesn't work like it used to. You actually have to go one step further to humanize your scripts. Now, a way you can do this, number one, is through bad grammar and spelling mistakes. Now, it sounds crazy, but if you put in your subject line, instead of saying, offer for first name, whatever it might be, write a word in there that's all lowercase. Maybe it's question or follow-up or update and spell the word wrong, okay? It will capture the prospect's attention more than a beautifully crafted, perfect subject line, firstly. Okay, secondly, when it comes to the body copy, keep it ultra short and again, apply these mistakes, these humanized errors, spell words wrong, use incorrect formatting, remove all M dashes or hyphens. Okay, what we see in ChatGPT is this abhorrent repetitive use of M dashes and how they write their prose and their responses. Okay, so a way that you can overcome the AI slop is by making it seem like you have literally fired off an email to that other brand owner or company owner. And that brings me on to number 3 when it comes to humanization. Okay, number 3 is making sure that the scripts you are writing are from the perspective that you are a peer and you share a similar value status to the prospect that you're reaching out to. So what you don't want to be doing is pitching upwards. You don't want to be going out to them saying that, we're just this lowly agency and we can do all this stuff to help you and you're going to pay us money and we're going to promise you the world. Okay, brands and companies are sick of that overpromise being under-delivered on. All right, what you want to do is fire off your messages as if you are a CEO, and hopefully you are, or an entrepreneur where your time is extremely limited. Now think, how would the founder or co-founder of Investec Bank write an email to the CEO of JP Morgan? All right, it's probably going to be one line, it's probably going to be super to the point, and it's probably going to have a mobile number or something in there, a quick call to action. All right, so follow suit. First step here is to humanize, strip back. If you're struggling with all of the systems that you've built, all of the client acquisition, AI-backed kind of automations that you've spent all of these hours diligently building, if they're not resulting in any clients, if you're not booking calls, then you need to strip it back to the basics. Now, the second point here is to go omni-channel. Now, back in the day when I started my agency in around 2018, I was emailing, I think, 5 to 10 prospects, local businesses at the time, offering copywriting services manually. Okay, so I would guess their email addresses. I would go with, first dot last name at company.com in the main, to box. And then in the blind CC, the BCC box, I would do loads of variations of their emails. I'd get like 10 bounce backs and possibly one verified email, approved send. And that's what led me to getting my first few clients, all right? So the second point here is that those days are actually over, all right? And what you need to do, although we still center all of our cold outreach around one fundamental channel, which is cold email and email itself is not going anywhere, okay? It's the primary source and function of B2B communication, whether you work internally in a company as an employee or you're communicating between companies, you're always going to communicate with them via cold email. And everything else, SMS, WhatsApp, DMs, LinkedIn DMs, in-mails, whatever it might be, comes secondary to your fundamental and foundational outreach source, okay? So what you need to kind of notice going forward as a takeaway from this point is that, yes, you need to center your outreach around a fundamental, solid channel like cold email, but you have to go omni-channel. Now, what does omni-channel mean? Omni-channel basically means that you have your one source of outreach and you need to back it up with a load of other sources to follow up the prospects with. Okay, so the way that we do it is like this. We use cold email primarily. We have 3 emails in our initial cold email sequence before we recycle leads and redirect them into different B scripts that we've developed over time and iterated on. We then follow up via SMS and WhatsApp after verifying their phone numbers. And then we rely on a network of different DM strategies and outreaches via social media. Now, the chances are if you're watching this video, you're probably doing it in reverse. You're probably going through the DMs and socials routes, spamming brands, spamming CEOs and co-founders on DMs, or worse yet, DMing company profiles on social media and not getting a response. And then you're probably trying to find a cold email address here or there where you're writing one main big email, trying to pitch them, sell them, close them, and collect cash on that first email. And that's why you are not getting responses. Now, on to the third and final strategy here that's going to help you close your next client, all right? And I would say in the next 7 to 14 days. It is your job as the entrepreneur to find a solution. Now, what do I mean when I say find a solution? Finding a solution as an entrepreneur, as an agency owner or a freelancer, okay, so even if you're a contractor or a freelancer, it's your job to generate clients and actually collect cash for what you do. Otherwise, you're just running a charity. You're not making any money. You've just got a glorified hobby. It is your job to constantly use your brain, okay, not AI, use your brain to find a solution to make things easier for the prospect. Okay, now, the first point to kind of really resonate here is that grit will always overcome automation. So all of those fancy automation strategies, all of those, Zaps you built in Zapier, all of those workflows in NAN, whatever it might be, at some point, grit will overcome those systems and that scale that you've developed. And this is something that has been proven time and time again in the sales industry. Salespeople who relentlessly follow up with extreme amounts of volume and don't take no for an answer are the ones that are the most successful, not the ones who automate everything to try and make their life easy. Okay, so remember, you've got to be extremely gritty in your approach to actually getting clients. You've got to, muster up, buck up, and put a lot of effort in if you actually want this result. The number 2 point here is that you have to go after volume. So volume negates luck. If you're reaching out to 5 leads a day and not getting responses, you need to multiply that 10x, 100x, 1000x, okay? And number 3 here, just before we wrap the video up, is to realize that everybody feels rejection sensitivity. So even I, at this stage of my entrepreneurial journey, I've been going for, I think, around 7 years now. Even I have days where I feel like, none of this is working and it feels like you're working on massive deals and you just get rejected constantly, okay? You are always going to feel some level of rejection sensitivity during your, journey as an entrepreneur. All right, guys. So that's it for this video. What I want to do coming up in the next few videos that I'm going to publish is just go back to basics, hit you with some old school whiteboard style videos just like this. So let me know in the comments below if you've got any ideas that you'd like me to help you with. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll catch you in the next one. All right, cheers.